UBC professor Patrick Condon has stated that the population of Vancouver could be doubled by building only 4 stories or lower along arterials. So the question for all of the candidates tonight is, what is your view on the form of development for the city? Should high-rise towers be limited to the downtown core, or should the tower form of development be used in neighborhoods across Vancouver? And would you like to start?
Well, I think the MPA in this campaign has been quite clear about looking at city plan and renewing city plan as an issue, and also the community planning process. While I respect Patrick Condon's opinion, I think it's a bit too narrow in what's possible in our city. I think that through the proper engaged community planning process, we should be able to build a very diverse city, and the planning, the design of the areas across the city should reflect what the neighborhood wants and like the future of that neighborhood. So the issue of whether or not we should have one level or one kind of building limits us in how our city looks and potentially what neighbors want. I think if you live downtown, and I actually live downtown in a tower development with 3 kids, and we enjoy that lifestyle, 1,000 square feet, but that's our choice. So I understand that perspective, but I also understand people who want to live in houses and who want to live in 3-story developments and the different opportunities that provides us. So I think it's important for us, and certainly as we move forward, is to have proper, engaged community planning process where everybody gets a say in what their neighborhood will look like. Vancouver was built by the communities around the city, locally, and I think it's important we continue that process to ensure we have the best city possible as we manage this significant popularity that Vancouver has with 4,000 to 5,000 people moving here. And that's my Oscar speech ending. So thanks. That's my answer.
So I'll qualify Professor Condon's comments. That, of course, greatly informs our own green platform. Now, one of the things that Condon has talked about is the potential to densify with 4 to 6 stories, and using our existing building code, which allows for up to 6 stories with wood frame construction, which we know is significantly less expensive. So it is a key of providing affordable, livable housing for Vancouverites. Now, that said, if I think that towers should be limited to the downtown core, I would defer that kind of decision-making to the communities that are affected. So perhaps some communities do want to see that kind of densification, and that's the kind of robust consultation process that we advocate with the Green Party. I think what we see, particularly with a lot of the development issues that Ramp is facing, is that spot rezoning and ignoring the existing community plan are creating a great deal of friction, and I think that's a failure of government, and we need to look at how we engage our communities when we start planning these kind of things.
Well, I think also looking at the city and looking at the fact that we do need more capacity of all sorts of different housing, you start thinking in terms of what makes a good neighborhood. And part of that is that we do have a lot of unbuilt capacity for exactly what Professor Condon is saying. What he does leave out, however, I don't want to hurt your ears. What he does leave out, however, is the actual cost of the units that are coming on stream. And that's what we're greatly concerned about. And that's what we're really concerned about in neighborhoods. We know that there are forms of adding density, not just the 4 to 6 that other speakers have talked about, but different forms of infill, the laneway housing where it's acceptable to the neighborhood, the secondary suites where they actually result in good housing that's acceptable and works with the neighborhood. The bad thing is building more vertical gated communities. An old style high-rise allowed you to go between floors. These ones, not quite. You have to key fob in, key fob to your floor. You may never know your neighbors. So in terms of built form, that's where we stand. Thank you.
Thank you. As a professional engineer working for the City of Vancouver for over 15 years, I work with planners a lot, and I know the importance of a community plan and a city plan. And the position of NPA has always been clear, like Councillor George had just said. We need to have a overall city plan that specifies the type of development that we want in various locations of the city. And this city plan needs to be community-led. We need to hear from the community. We need to listen to the community. We need public input, not for show, but for real. We need a transparent government. And we need to have an equal and fair and open way of dealing with all the developments in the city. For example, the CAC. CAC, I think everybody knows what it means. Is the community amenity contributions, where the money is going to go, whether it's going back to the community or it goes to general revenue. That's very important. We need to have a very, very clear plan. So to answer the question directly, what is your view on the form of development for the city? I think that would be best left to be decided by the neighborhoods, by the communities themselves. We as city officials should listen and choose the best course of action to act. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Adriane Carr, Vancouver's first Green Party City Councillor, hoping to be joined, no time for applause, hoping to be joined by Pete Fry and Cleta Brown on council, and I know I have other colleagues, Mike Weeb, Stuart McKinnon, Misha Oak, running for Park Board School Board, 2 each, and I'm looking forward to the end result of this election. It's not what my view is that's important, it's what's your view that is important, and that's what we've been missing in my last term or this term on City Council. That the people who come and say over and over, this development is too high, it's too dense, it doesn't fit our neighborhood, it doesn't fit the plan that we developed here. We should all on council take notice of that. If the people are saying this is not the right form of development, then don't accept that proposal. I vote no on those proposals if the people say no, this is not what works in my neighborhood. My background is in urban geography. I studied at UBC, Walter Hardwick and David Lay were my thesis advisors. I studied Jane Jacobs' work. She said, there's a style to a city that's really important. And buildings that fall below the height of the tree level, which is about 4 stories, are actually a height that leads to a much more sane, amenable, beautiful city that really does reflect people's needs for intimacy and involvement with each other in the environment.
Good evening, my name is Nicholas Chernen and I'm running with the Cedar Party. If you were to ask me my opinion, what the built form should be like for Vancouver and where the towers should stay, I would answer they should stay downtown. But it's not about what I want, it is, as Adriane says, it's about what the community wants. The Coalition of Vancouver Neighbourhoods presented their policy and goals document, and it was based on collaborative neighborhood-based planning. If we bring back a process like that, we are going to be presenting ideas on development that reflect what neighborhoods are asking for. We need to go away from what Vision Vancouver is talking about, which is a transit-oriented planning process, to a community planning process. The regional context statement is suggesting we've got 153,000 people coming to Vancouver by 2041. And right now, we've between 2011 and 2013, we've created units for or accommodation for 43,000 new units of living space. In those 2 years, what we ended up doing is satisfying 28% of the growth 28% of the growth the city projects being required over the next 35 years. We have hit that pace way too quickly. It's about getting back on track, and our community-based planning will let us do that.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Raymond Louie. I am a current city councillor, and I've been serving you, had the pleasure of serving all of you for the past 4 terms. I bring regrets from Councillor Heather Deal. She unfortunately is at City Hall undertaking or overseeing a celebration of Women's History Month on behalf of City Council, and so she brings her regrets. For the question that is before us, I think it's a little narrow in scope. I think we need to think more of the entire holistic equation. What are we getting as a result of this different form, whether it's high rise or low rise in our city, and what are we trying to accomplish? Our initiatives, whether it be layering additional densities around transit-oriented development, is meant to provide some benefit to the city. And so when we restrict it to, say, 6 stories, we would never have received or been able to accomplish the affordable housing complex at Fraser and Broadway. And we know that everyone is so concerned with affordability and social housing in our city. And those are some of the instances where I think it is appropriate, where we go beyond what was perhaps originally envisioned, but important that we do go out and consult with the community, and that's why this council has proceeded with 4 community plans, all in concert, in conjunction with this concept. We've done this, and this is different than any other council before where there's either 1 or 2. So apparently I can still keep going because there's no sound. Thank you.
Let me try real hard to give you what you deserve. A short, clear answer to a short, clear question. Where do towers belong? They belong downtown, not in our neighborhoods. Now look, if you listen carefully like I have to the folks up on the stage, up in the clouds, like the towers are, they equivocate. Towers only belong if the neighborhood, we just thought, oh, sorry, right? If the neighborhood asks for it. Well, let me ask this. The Rise development. How many hundreds of people in Mount Pleasant were petitioning City Hall demanding a tower? None. There isn't a neighborhood in Vancouver clamoring for towers. Now, a quick fact. Paris, not too much applause, I wanted to time. Paris, higher density than Vancouver, but a limit on height. Height limit, just like me. I'm height limited. And the city has a higher time's up. Thank you very much.